Ask the Messengers TV show is a TV show that educates, informs, and entertains our viewers on public health issues such as mental illness, suicide, addiction, illness and disease, COVID-19 relief, crime, domestic violence, homelessness, human trafficking, employment opportunities, healthcare, and more. And now, Ask the Messengers.
Today on Ask the Messengers, we bring you an exclusive interview with Detroit City Clerk Janice Winfrey, Detroit Promise Information featuring Vickie Thomas, the Communications Director of the City of Detroit, and what you need to know about the city's Detroit Neighborhood Beautification Program. Plus, Doing Business in Detroit featuring exclusive flowers by Terry and mental health professional Dr. Jasmine Stevens. August is National Immunization Month. It's back to school season and time to make sure immunizations are up to date. Ask the Messengers begins now.
Hi, everybody. Obviously, voting is very important. I am here with the one and only Mrs. Winfrey. I just have a couple questions for you because I don't know if a lot of our viewers know about this. You guys have drive-up voting.
Yeah, we do.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so curbside voting is for people with challenges or not. Perhaps you just don't want to get out of your car and come into a precinct to vote. So we service you where you are, right there at your car. Oftentimes, seniors, a lot of seniors use them, or people who, are not very mobile, right? So just sit in your car. We service you right there. We bring you your ballot. We bring you your application, and we allow you to vote.
They've eliminated pretty much every reason not to vote.
Exactly.
So, other things that you guys offer for folks out there.
Yeah. We have 34 drop boxes in which you can deposit any and all of your election-related mail. So that's very convenient because a lot of people don't trust the post office these days. And then we have these vote centers, these early vote centers. We have 14 early vote centers throughout the city of Detroit, 2 in every council member's district. We're trying to make voting as convenient as we can. And then the almighty early voting, right? I love early voting. 9 days to vote, Monday through Sunday for this election. And in the presidential, we'll have 14 days early to vote before Election Day. So no excuse. No excuse, citizens. Come out and cast your ballot.
We here at Ask the Messengers TV show. It's a nonprofit TV show for the community, and the fact that you are doing something to include everyone, that's not done in every state. How did you go about getting that here in our wonderful city?
Yeah. Well, we work very closely with our state representatives, our legislators, council, secretary of state, and whatever we felt we needed to make voting easier for our constituents, we've always fought for it. And so here we are.
She's overcome. Her whole team obviously they've overcome the obstacles that were setbacks in the past, and here we are, 2024, and we are about to vote. It's important. Our ancestors knew it was important, so we're just gonna say together, get out and vote. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3, get out and vote.
There's always the question of what it would take to get young people to vote. We are sharing this PBS NewsHour segment so that you can hear how the teens they asked responded. And we hope you too will take time to talk to the young people in your community and have some conversation about what it will take to get them to vote.
I do think voting matters. I think it's a really important part of our democracy, and I think that everyone should take part in it because that's our duty as American citizens.
Young people are less likely to vote because they think that their vote doesn't matter, and one vote won't change anything.
I am one of those 18-year-olds that do not go to voting polls to vote.
I do not vote because I do not pay attention to what's going on in the news, and I don't want to just throw a vote out there.
My peers are really quiet about it. They don't really talking about politics as much because it's very uncomfortable, and my family doesn't really bring it up either.
I think teachers are a little more cautious about talking about politics, so that might negatively affect the youth vote because people are hearing less about it.
I think the only way to get people to vote more is making voting required.
Lower the voting age to around 16, because I feel like if we start voting at a younger age, it'll become routine.
Make voting mobile. Our generation is so technology driven that if voting were literally at our fingertips, then that's an initiative to get all young people to vote.
We brought a miniature goat onto campus, like a fainting goat, and it was, that was our vote goat. And so many folks stopped by just to pet the goat or play with the goat. And while they're there, we said, hey, you've already taken a minute. Do you have a second to register to vote? And we registered over 100 people that day, so that was really awesome.
What would get me to vote is something that would affect me every day, like minimum wage, car payments, car taxes.
Probably the rising cost of college education is the most important to me because it's the most relevant to me in the next 4 to 6 years of my life.
It can change so many issues that are important to me, especially considering the recent school shootings and so many attempts to try to get rid of birth control and Planned Parenthood.
It does seem like one of the most important elections, especially because it seems like the fiber of the country is coming apart.
I think what's encouraging me to vote is especially the fact that, some of my ancestors didn't get the vote and they didn't get a say of how their lives were spent.
So we can't sit around and say that things are bad without trying to change them. And the major platform for change is voting in candidates that want to change the problems you see.
I think voting does matter. I think it's kind of an obligation, especially because as a woman, the people who came before us fought so hard and so tirelessly for our right to vote.
Being an American means hoping for a better tomorrow.
Pride.
To have hope.
Being an American means kindness. Inclusion.
Being an American means looking out for the good in people.
Everyone has value.
Justice for all.
Being an American means helping your fellow man.
Opportunity.
Being an American means equality.
Acceptance. Feeling my potential.
Being an American means working for a common good.
To have compassion, respect for all kinds.
Honoring my ancestors, my people, and my country.
If you need to register to vote, just visit www.vote.gov. It only takes a few minutes, and you'll be all set to make your voice heard in the next election. If you are already registered, great. It's time to get out and vote. Each election counts, whether it's local, state, or national. Your participation can make a real difference. Remember, democracy is strongest when everyone participates. Don't wait. Register today and make sure your vote counts. Together, let's shape the future we want to see. All right, this is Tina Nelson for Ask the Messenger. We want to just kind of take a moment and welcome Vickie to the show today.
Hey, Miss Tina.
Nice to see you. Nice to be here with you. But we wanted to kind of let people get to know who you are and what you do for the city. And so tell us what you do and your position and why you love working here so much.
Oh, I really do love it. So I'm the communications director for the city of Detroit in the mayor's office. And as a result of being communications director, I oversee the media services department, which I describe as a medium-sized newsroom. We have videographers, photographers, graphic artists, we have writers, publicists, and we are responsible for the city's website, all of the social media platforms for the city. Mm-hmm. We're also responsible for our cable stations, our 4 cable stations.
Okay.
We service the mayor, the city council, boards and commissions when they have meetings. We do the setups for those meetings. We do the live streaming of news conferences for the city council members, for the mayor when he has news conferences.
Wow.
So it's a huge job, but I absolutely love it. I'm also over the marketing team, which is Ilya Hardy, our creative director, and Amber Ogden, who's our copywriter editor. And so as this small and mighty team, working with Dee Prosey, who is a marketing guru, we launched the Detroit for Life marketing campaign. And so the goal there is to really let Detroiters know about all the opportunities that Mayor Mike Duggan has created using the $827 million that Joe Biden gave to the city in federal funding. So it's been amazing just to watch these programs develop from start to finish and people enrolling in the program. So my job is to let people know about all of these great opportunities and programs that we have to offer.
Because I live in Detroit, I was able to get tuition-free college through the Detroit Promise. I feel very fortunate working with the Detroit Promise. They were able to afford me so many opportunities. I'm currently studying media production and journalism at University of Michigan Dearborn. I'm looking to take my talents further into the production industry, short films. I love working with people here, and this is where I want to be. And that's why I'm Detroit for Life.
So just give me a quick snapshot of the Detroit for Life, Detroit at Work. What are the programs that are packed into that? Because there's an umbrella, so what falls under that umbrella?
So all of the programs that Detroiters can take advantage of, right? So we launched the campaign in the fall with Misty and Shirley. And Misty and Shirley both took advantage of the Learn to Earn program. They went back and got their GED, and they're doing great. So they took advantage of what we had to offer. We also have spotlighted Preston, who is taking advantage of the Detroit Promise tuition-free education. And these are a couple of other Detroit Promise students too. So can you imagine, all because you live in Detroit, you can have access to tuition-free education.
Wow. So before I let you go, can you just talk to the viewing audience and let them know who qualifies and how can they find out more information about it?
All right. So if you are a Detroiter, you qualify. Mayor Mike Duggan wanted to make sure that we had something to offer for every single Detroiter. He wanted to give people who have stuck and stayed here an advantage and created these opportunities as a result. So you can find out more about all the different programs that we have to offer on our website. It's detroitmi.gov/Detroit for Life.
Neighborhood beautification. That's very important to Detroit. It's very important to block clubs, organizations, and people who live in the community. We got started with 2 lots and a vision of a treehouse center. Because if we can take these blighted lots, Detroit give us grants to be able to do something with them that the community wants, it's a plus because we're bringing our neighborhoods back to where we want them to be, where they should be. All because I live in Detroit.
Tell our viewers the name of your business, kind of like what you do.
The business name is Exclusive Flowers by Terry. I specialize in funerals, weddings, parties, just any kind of, for all occasions.
But here's the catch. Terry has been in business forever. He's been around. You've been in the flower business. You've seen it growing up, right?
Yep, I was born in the flower business. My grandmother, who recently deceased, she started the business, and I just kept it going.
Exclusive Flowers by Terry, a premier florist offering deliveries throughout Metro Detroit. Visit their store location at 21470 Coolidge Highway in Oak Park, Michigan, or shop online at www.exclusiveflowersbyterry.store. Exclusive Flowers by Terry, your perfect floral partner for every occasion.
I am here with Dr. Jasmine Stevens.
Hello there.
Yes, you guys know we always bring you information and people that will be beneficial to you and for you. Tell our viewers kind of like what you're a doctor of and how long you've been in practice. Yes. Look, I'm gonna just slam it on you.
Yeah, that's okay. So I am Dr. Jasmine, and I am a mental health professional.
I've been in practice since 2021 with my private practice, but I've been a therapist since 2017.
What kind of motivated you to even get into that? I mean, obviously you had to do a lot of schooling, things like that, but like, how did you get here? What inspired you to go into this field?
If I'm being honest, when I started college, this wasn't my plan. I wanted to kind of get out fast. I didn't really like school.
So many people say that.
Seriously, I didn't. So I went originally to become a medical biller. That didn't work out because I've never been a medical biller. But when I was taking the psychology classes, it became more interesting to me to really understand human behavior and why we do the things we do. And when I was growing up, mental health wasn't as, we weren't as privy as we are now.
Right.
So had I knew what I know now, I think life would have been different for me. Yes. So I started trying to kind of heal myself in a sense. Wow. Yeah, so I'm like, you know what? I think I want to do this.
What type of obstacles have you had to overcome?
Well, I'll tell you this. My biggest one was when God told me to have my own private practice.
Really?
Yeah. It didn't make sense to me because it was in the heat of COVID. So I'm like, well, I hear you, but this don't make sense to me, right? And I was working at an organization as a counselor, and I was comfortable, right? I was doing clinical counseling part-time, and then I worked for an agency, and it didn't make sense. And it actually, two of my friends kind of helped me see my vision beyond just working for other people. So shout out to my friends. Yes. But in 2021 is when I opened up Image Counseling Services. And I've been in private practice for myself for 3 years, and I've never had a drought.
Let me tell you something. And that's when you're supposed to step out.
Yes.
When it doesn't make sense and the vision is bigger than you, most times it's God. Do you know what I mean?
It's God. When it don't make sense, it's God. Just
so
know
what
that.
is, if you could tell me like one of the most rewarding things that you're actually, you've been in business this long, you've had to overcome these obstacles, you started your private practice. What's the most rewarding thing that you kind of feel right now? Like, what is your feeling?
I just love seeing people become better. A lot of times when people come in here, they feel defeated. They feel like they can't get over their hurdle. So I love empowering people and being their cheerleader and letting them know, like, it's going to be okay, one day at a time. You don't have to beat yourself up for the process. Just get through the process.
And it's a process.
It's a process for sure.
And I know this is kind of like a crazy question. People, they're wondering, how do I get in touch with a counselor? Do I pay out of pocket? Does insurance covers it? Does insurance cover it? Because I'm stuttering right now because like you don't know. You don't know what you don't know until you ask.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a counselor, the best thing to do that most people don't know is you can start by looking on the back of your insurance card, and they will send you a list of providers. You can also use the link psychologytoday.com. You can put in your city, you can put in if you have a preference, and they will send you a list as well. We do also offer private pay as well.
I am here with Dr. Jasmine Stevens, and we are here to tell you to take care of you. Let's tell them that. 1, 2, 3, ready? Take care of you.
Welcome back to school. As students across the country prepare to return to the classroom, there's one crucial step to ensure a safe and healthy school year: vaccinations. According to the CDC, vaccinations are essential for protecting our children from serious diseases. They help prevent outbreaks of illnesses such as measles, mumps, and whooping cough, which can spread quickly in school settings. Vaccines work by teaching our immune system to recognize and fight off specific diseases. Imagine your immune system as a superhero squad, ready to battle any villain that tries to invade. Before the school year begins, it's important to check that your child's vaccinations are up to date. Schools often require proof of immunizations to enroll, ensuring a safe environment for all students. Parents may have concerns about vaccine safety. Dr. Paul Offit, a leading vaccine expert, emphasizes that vaccines undergo rigorous testing and continuous monitoring to ensure they are safe and effective.
Hi,
My name is Paul Offit. I'm talking to you today from the Vaccine Education Center at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So I think probably the most common question I get asked is, how do we know a vaccine is safe? And certainly any vaccine or any drug that is given that has a positive effect can have a negative effect. Vaccines are no different. Vaccines have been given to billions of people in the world. And so we have an excellent safety record. It's not absolutely safe, these vaccines, but nothing is absolutely safe. I think anything in medicine that has a positive effect can have a negative effect. I think the price to pay here has been very small. In the world of medicine, the word safety means that the benefits have to clearly and definitively outweigh the risks, and we know that to be true here. And we also know historically when you look at vaccines and you find safety problems, and certainly there have been safety problems, severe safety problems associated with vaccines, they've virtually always been found within 2 months of getting the vaccine. That's why it's important to be vaccinated.
Vaccines are one of the best ways to protect our children from dangerous diseases, he says. Vaccines also help reduce absenteeism. When children are protected from preventable diseases, they miss fewer days of school, allowing them to stay on track with their learning and social development. Many communities offer vaccination clinics and events to make it easier for families to get their children vaccinated. Check with your local health department or school district for information on vaccination events in your area. Vaccines have a long history of success, from the eradication of smallpox to the near elimination of polio. Vaccines have transformed public health and continue to be a cornerstone of disease prevention. We understand that not all families may choose to vaccinate their children. For those who decide not to, it's important to be aware of the requirements and options available, such as obtaining a vaccination waiver. These waivers can be medical, religious, or personal reasons and are necessary to comply with school enrollment policies. Check with your local school district for more information on how to obtain a vaccine waiver if needed. By ensuring your child is vaccinated, you're not only protecting their health, but also contributing to the well-being of the entire school community. It's a collective effort that helps keep everyone safe. As we gear up for another exciting school year, let's prioritize our children's health. Make sure their vaccinations are up to date, and let's work together to create a safe and healthy learning environment for all. Welcome back to school. For more information on vaccinations, visit the CDC website or contact your healthcare provider. Together, we can ensure a healthy start to the school year.
Well, that concludes this week's episode of Ask the Messengers. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you would like to help support our show, please feel free to make a donation of any kind by visiting our show website, www.askthemessengers.org. If you prefer to mail donations, please make check or money order payable to Ask the Messengers TV show and send it to 18400 Schaefer Highway, Detroit, Michigan 48235. Ask the Messengers is the program that deals with things that help you. Thank you for watching.